Greetings, it's Saturday the 8th of July 2017. A warm welcome along to today's United Kingdom talk, and today, boys and girls, it's DIY with Chris. Oh yes, we today are going to attempt to fix this little shower spindle, this little shower knob which is broken. As you can see the little crack there, regular viewers of the show will know all about this. And I have prepared, I'm all in preparation here. I have prepared one cable tie, okay? One little double bottle thing of Gorilla epoxy glue. We have the pliers, and we have the cutters, and of course we have very, very important, there's a piece of paper underneath, kindly provided by Waitrose, to stop all the mess going onto the table. Now, if you've been watching the show, you'll know I've had this problem and I don't know how to fix it. I went down to Screwfix today, and a very, very nice young man served me, and quite frankly, it was lucky he was there apparently, because he'd been out last night and had been on the old boot, and he had a bit of a headache, but there he was to assist me in my very, very important inquiry, boys and girls. And I was explaining to him the problem, and he suggested cable ties. He said, what if you put a cable tie around it, glue it, put a cable tied around it really tight, and then put it on. So I thought, yeah, that's a good idea. So I bought some cable ties and the glue. And we're going to try and do this. Now, on the way home, I suddenly thought to myself, at the end of the cable tie, when you cut it, there's this little nodule thing that kind of, you put it in like that. I can do this now because it's got to go. So you put it in like that. Once you've got it on there, you know, you can't do it. And the idea is you cut off the bit there, right? But that leaves this great big square thing. And I thought to myself, well, if that's got to go in a hole, okay, that's going to be too big to go in a hole. So I thought I'd check before. I've just been upstairs, and this actually doesn't go in a hole. It pushes over the spindle thing, right? But then it doesn't go inside a hole any further. It's just like that. So now that I didn't realise this before. Now that I've found that out, I realise there's actually a number of ways I can repair this. So here we go, boys and girls. I shall place my items standing by. Now, I've never used this glue before. Apparently you have to mix it together somehow, so I'm going to have to get my glasses. Just a minute. I should have got my glasses here first. Let's have a look. One moment, please. Good, I've got my glasses. That's better, and I should be able to see all, because I don't know what is wrong with manufacturers these days. They print this stuff smaller and smaller, presumably to save on ink. So, what does it say? Remove directions, protect work area from spills. Oh yes, protect work. You're enjoying this, aren't you? Protect work area from spills. All surfaces should be clean, dry, and free of grease and oil. So the surfaces, now, is that free of glass and oil? I don't know. There we are, free of grease and oil. I'm going to have to find something to slightly open that with. I'll use the pliers, I think. Yeah, I'll use the pliers to slightly open it with. Now, remove cap from plunger with tip pointing outwards. Okay, so get the thing off. Not as easy as super glue. Apparently this is the best stuff, the bloke said. So I'm going to get that thing out of there. Oh, it's in one of those damn blister plaque things, isn't it? Well, right. There. Oh no, of course now I've ripped all the instructions, haven't I? Oh, what a hero. Oh no, I haven't. Here it is. Remove cap from plunger with tip pointing outwards. Is that thing? Maybe you break it off, do you? Oh. Cap from plunger has been removed. Okay. With tip still upward, eliminate air and ensure even dispensing by slowly pushing plunger until resin and hardener are at the tip. Right, can we see this? Look. See, that's slightly yellow, so that's... Oh, yes, we've got that one. What about the other one though? The other one ain't come out. Now what's that for there? Oh, hang on a minute. Oh, I've got to take that off as well. See, it didn't say to take that off because it... Oh, just a minute. Okay. So that must be... Oh, that must be the cap afterwards. Okay. So, until resin unhardened at the tip. Okay. Can you see? Can we see this? So that one's come out, isn't it? Oh, there it goes. There it goes. Oh dear. Dispense even amounts onto a clean disposable surface. The package blister can be used as a mixing tray. Oh, okay. Mixing tray. So how much do I put in? Mix until colour is uniform. Okay. Oh, shut up, cats. I'm busy. I'll give you something to eat, didn't I? Miserable cow. We'll put some of that in there. Right, that's all. I'll only need a small bit, and now you have to mix it. Well, what do I mix it? Ah, they provide a little piece of wood as well, so we mix that together. All right, okay. Oof. Oh, it smells a bit. Do you think that's reasonably mixed? So mix that together, right? Okay, now apply it. Is it as easy as that, dear? Oh, there's got to be some cons to this. Come down here and you'll get a closer look. So I've got to, somehow, I could have done with another pair of hands to do this bit, really. I've got to somehow open that a little bit without breaking it and then put the glue on. This will be fun, hang on. So maybe around the, oh yeah, hang on, you can, yeah. Yeah, there you go, look. That's gone into the crack, isn't it? Yeah, I'm sure it has. And this bit here, this side here, a bit more. That gone into the crack there all right, I think. There's another crack there appeared as well, look. And another one there. And I reckon that'll do. Right, so there we are. So that glue's gone into the crack there. Now, with my, oh there it is, my little thing here, you see? I'm going to put that down around the outside of it, making it small, so that's going to go around there. Right, very carefully. Now the bloke in the shop, put it really tight. I'm going to get any tighter than that, am I? Alright, pull that tight. Cut that off there. Yeah. Look at that. Right, cut that off there. Now, as I said to you, this bit here doesn't go into a hole. This bit here. So that's okay. It just goes over the spindle, and then that's all. So there is room for that square bit there. Now, the bloke in the shop also suggested, this is the lad in Screwfix, that I glue all around there as well. So I'm going to do that with some more of my Gorilla epoxy resin. How exciting this is. Never done this before, look at this. Put some more of that in there. And I'll put the lid on top as well. Clean that off. It's got a little lid, look at this little lid. How camp is that? Goes on there. Oh, this is so much better than being at Pride, isn't it? It really is. Oh, it won't go on. 1 minute. Well, that won't go on there. Oh, there we go. That's on there now. Oh, because I had something else to fix as well. Right, so mix this up again. It's not like super glue, is it? You know, one top you take off and then it just works. Oh, I tell you what, it blooming well stinks. Oh, it's a horrible smell. It's not, you know, like some of that stuff you buy is quite nice smell. This is not a nice smell. So there we are. get a load of that glue and put it around the outside of that, I reckon. Yeah. It's all around the outside, And I reckon that's done. That's it. There's nothing else to do there, is there? On the top there, maybe. All done. Now I've got to wait. How long does it take? Grip serviced and leave undisturbed for 30 minutes. Okay, so I'll try this. I'll leave that now to completely dry. I'll probably leave it until tomorrow, because what I don't want to do is put it on the thing and then it sticks to it because of the glue. Do you see what I mean? Then if it ever goes wrong, I can't get this off again. You've got to chuck it away. So I reckon that's going to work. I actually think we fixed it. Right, it remains to be seen what happens when I put it on back on again. Anyway, there we are. All blooming sticky on my hands now. I've got to wash those in a minute. Very, very pleased to say, to notice in the paper this morning that the people who were looking after the little boy in Great Ormond Street Hospital, Charlie Gard, isn't it? Charlie Gard. They're now looking into this treatment that's been offered to him free of charge in America. So apparently they're going to court to discuss this, I think, on Monday, and hopefully we'll have some good news and at least something's tried, you know? I mean, for a little boy like that to die when nothing's been tried, I think is a bit much. If you've tried to do things, I think, and then something terrible happens after that, I mean, it's still terrible, but at least you've tried, you know what I mean? So I'm really pleased to see that about Charlie Gard. And the possible new hospital treatment going on in America. Great night at the karaoke last night. Lots of new faces last night. I think we had a bit of a birthday party and some very, very good-looking people. At one point, as well as myself, there were other good-looking people on the stage as well, wasn't there? Gustav had something very, very fashionable on last night. It looked very, very expensive. He's got all the expensive club, you know. Old Gustav over there. This morning I've got up. I've gone down to Waitrose. Katie, can you hear her moaning away? She wants some. She's probably finished. She's finished that food already. I think I've got to feed her again. But yes, I've been down to Waitrose, done all my shopping on my bicycle. As I say, I went down to Screwfix. The lad was very helpful in there, really helpful. And these are the things that he suggested to fix it. I did look online for a do you know, we can't remember what they were called. A circumclip. I typed in circumclip, couldn't find that. Spring-loaded clips where you find hundreds and hundreds of those. Adam kindly sent me some bits and pieces, but the particular clip I'm looking for, I just cannot find. I'm really not sure what it's called at all. Anyway, let's go upstairs and do today's birthdays, and let's see whose birthday it is today. Oh, actually, no, let's do it at the piano. Let's do it at the piano today. Here we are. It's no, hang on a minute. Just before we do the birthdays today, I've got a couple of emails here to read you from Wendy, which are a little bit late, to be honest. She must have sent these a week ago. In reply to a couple of the shows, was that a spider up there? In reply to a couple of the shows last week, actually. So I must read these. I'm very, very sorry, Wendy, for not reading these out yet, my darling. Wendy writes, good morning, just watching your show from last night. I think this was last Saturday, actually. About the rice. You remember I was saying I'm not sure you should reheat rice. Well, Wendy says, and I'm never sure how much rice to make. I always seem to end up with too much rice. Anyway, she says about the rice, a good indicator of how much rice you should put in a pan is in the cooking instructions on the packet. All right. We don't read instructions, dear. Only if something doesn't work do we read the instructions, all right? She says, have you got scales? Yes, but I don't stand on them anymore, Wendy. We mustn't stand on scales. Very dangerous. We leave that to the nice people at Slimming World on Tuesdays. Oh, I see. It's scales for the food. Okay. On my packet of rice, it says allow 75 grams per person. I know it doesn't look much when it's in the pan, and that's the problem, you see. It doesn't, does it? Look like much when it's in the pan. But it's a good indicator of how much you need on average. I know it takes a little bit of extra time to weigh it, but do it anyway. Eventually you won't need to weigh it because you'll get to know what an average portion of rice looks like. Saves wasting food and it all adds up. Absolutely, dear. Never waste food. We must eat it. Every little penny helps. Is that Tesco's advert? I don't know. Food poisoning. We talked about food poisoning on the show last week. The worst is prawns. Oh, how can anyone eat prawns, Wendy? Nasty little thing, you had to pull their legs off and all that. Oh, it's disgusting. They sit there, don't they, in them restaurants, ripping another leg off. Oh, it's vile. How would you like it? How would you like it if someone ripped your legs off before you were starting to eat? Exactly, yes. I was working in Manchester at the time and bought a sandwich from a local shop from lunch. I can't even remember thinking as I was eating that it tasted a little bit odd. Well, there is the indicator, Wendy dear. Oh, you can smell fish when it's gone off. It's a horrible stuff. I mean, to be honest, I looked at my goldfish years ago when I was a child and it wasn't moving. But I didn't put two and two together. It wasn't until the smell started coming out 3 weeks ago and bits of it were disintegrating that I realised it had passed over to another place. Oh. Hallelujah, 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 hallelujah. Is that the wrong song to sing on the passing of a goldfish? I'm not quite sure. I can even remember thinking that I was eating it. It tasted a bit odd. I think next to the pain of a burst appendix, it's the worst thing I've ever experienced. Oh, I've had one of those, dear. Burst appendix. You wouldn't wish that on your worst enemy. Actually, you would. You would, wouldn't you? Grooming the cat. We were talking about grooming the cat. Regarding the grooming, I have a groomer for my 2 dogs. You remember I said I had a lady in to groom the cat the other day? She was all right. Nothing wrong with her. But I don't think I'd have her back again. There was just something missing. I don't know what. Anita was the groomer. She came every 10 to 12 weeks or so for 14 years. Same thing, arrived with a grooming table and always did the grooming indoors, never outside. I never let her do the grooming in the kitchen though. Was usually in the living room. Hair everywhere. Oh, why can't they do it outside in the garden? Well, that's one of the reasons she's not coming again, dear. I had to go around with a hoover afterwards in the kitchen. Fur everywhere, dear. And with my terrible lungs, my love, my asthma, which is non-existent at the moment, to be honest. I used to collect the hair in a plastic bag as she cut them and then gave the place a good hoover after she left. £40 I paid for that woman to do my cat. Wendy says, good grief. Anista used to do both of mine for £32, £16 each. She spent at least 45 minutes on each dog. Maybe it's more expensive for a cat due to the risk factor of being clawed and bitten to death. Well, she got my thumb, didn't she? Or was it my finger? She got my finger. That's the worst, the hardest bite my cat has ever given my finger, I tell you. Poor old thing. She also says, on the subject of the Beyond Burgers that we talked about the other day. Now, Beyond Burgers are not made of meat, but they are made with, I think, beetroot or something like that to look like they actually bleed when you cut them. Why on earth do you need them to look like that? I don't know, but maybe it adds to the taste. Wendy says, was curious about those Beyond Burgers. Had a look on YouTube. I was watching a video of a chap who did a taste test. He went through the ingredients on the back of the packaging. 22 grams of fat, dear, in each burger. Oh my word, well, they can't allow that on Slimming World, surely. That's a lot of fat in a veggie burger. However, he said they were delicious. They look great too. They don't bleed as in liquid running out of them. It just looks a bit pink, like a medium rare piece of meat would. There's no liquid from what I could see anyway. I might try one of those if I can find them. I haven't seen them yet. And I haven't got them in Waitrose or Aldi or Sainsbury's. I've looked for them in all those places. Let's have a look. There's no liquid from what I could see anyway. I do that a lot, you know. When you're talking about things, I get curious and have to look them up. When you were going through the newsreaders on Saturday, you remember that we were talking about newsreaders. That's actually Saturday, 2 Saturdays ago that was. I did the same thing, although I knew most of them. I just don't remember their names well, but I do faces, so I recognise them from when I saw them. It was like reliving my childhood. Well, we love that, don't we? Don't you think we love reliving our childhood? That's why I was so pleased when Ray Reynolds bought me that Blue Peter book the other day. which is what is it? Was it 1964, 74, 84, 94? It's like 40 years old, that book. But I had that book as a child. We love going backwards. I mean, I'd love a model railway layout in here. I mean, I had something as a child, a little train that used to go round. I had a few different train sets, actually, used to go round and round. But I never really had a layout. I started building one, but I gave up. I'm not a DIY person. Except, of course, showers, showers. I think Adam's a bit worried. Probably Adam's watched this programme today and is a little bit worried for his own job. If I can fix a shower like that for £6 or whatever I've paid for those bits and pieces, dear me. Let's have a look. Proper newsreaders from the past. Not like now, like everything in this damn world now. Oh, absolutely. Proper newsreaders are in the past here. Not this lot on the telly. Have you heard them interviewing people? Shouting and screaming. Just answer the question, Mrs. May. Answer the question. Oh, I tell you what I saw. I've been watching this morning on Catch Up. Question Time, BBC. And there's a Conservative bloke on there that I didn't know. I think his name is Jacob. Oh, I quite like him. Isn't he posh? Isn't he really posh? And he swept the board with the rest of them on there, I tell you. He was really good. And he just spoke his mind. There were bits of him that didn't agree, I think, with with the party's general idea about things. But he just said it. I like him very much. Jacob, watch out for him. Jacob. He's very thin, tall, and he's ever so... He's the poshest person. He's even posher than Victoria Derbyshire on BBC News, dear. He's really posh. Really posh. And he's got money, and he's not afraid to say it. He was someone asked him about, does he claim this, that and the other? He said, well, let me tell you now, I'm quite well off and I don't need to claim, so I don't claim. However, that's not to be said that other Member of Parliament are not as wealthy as me, so they have to claim, so it's fair enough. And he was saying all that. And they loved him. The audience were clapping away. There's this great big fat Labour bloke on there. He didn't have a clue what it is. Someone laid into him. I think it was something to do with self-employed people. People seem to forget the self-employed. You go on, and, nurses, doctors, teachers, probably maybe not doctors, but certainly nurses, teachers, none of them get enough money. They're all on a pay freeze, but they get a lot of paid holidays and all that. None of us self-employed get that. People forget the self-employed. Let me tell you, my money as an entertainer hasn't gone up for about 20 years. 20 years ago, I was on really good money, because that was what it was then. Now, I'm on the same money, and I probably earn, as a entertainer, the same as an average job, I would say. I don't get loads and loads of money from the entertainment stuff I do. I do all right, I do okay, but nothing special. Not like it was 20 years ago. My God, 20 years ago I was buying a new car, new cars and all this business. I had loads. Now, I'm all right, don't get me wrong, I'm not poor. I'm probably better off than a lot of people, but I'm certainly not rich. And people seem to forget that. And this was what this bloke was shouting down at the Labour bloke. We understand the public sector workers and all this business. But, pensions, they get holidays. We don't get any of that. We get none of that. If you're sick, you get some money. If I'm sick, I don't get paid. End of story. There's nothing for me to claim. And I think people forget. That's not to say we don't forget about the public. Of course we do. Of course nurses should get more money. Of course. But just bear in mind, we're in the same boat. In fact, we're probably worse off. And this bloke was shouting down at the Labour bloke all about this. I don't know if you saw it. It's an excellent episode. And as I say, this Conservative bloke, Jacob, he swept the floor with all of them. And you had that Green Party woman. I don't know what planet she's on, dear. The Green Party woman. Is it Caroline Lucas? Oh, they love her down in Brighton. They love her. I don't know what it is. They absolutely love her in Brighton. She's all right, She says what she thinks. She only thinks that. And there was another woman there from the Daily Mirror. Not a paper that I read, but she was really good. I thought the lady from the Daily Mirror was really good as well. Let's have a look here. Talking about the newsreaders from the past, Wendy says they were passionate about what they did, loved their job, and it showed. True professionalism. I agree with you about everything else in this world. Well, there's a lot of people, they just don't bother anymore, do they? They just, oh, that'll be okay, and move on to the next thing. Talking of looking things up, I forgot to tell you, you know that Joe on Big Brother? Yes, I said there was a bloke on Big Brother. I saw and I flicked over to it to see what was going on. I flicked back very, very quickly and see. I ended up watching a repeat of Tom and Jerry, I think, from the 1960s, which was far more entertaining than Big Brother. How people can sit there and watch that utter tribe is beyond me. I looked him up. He's a South Londoner nightclub owner. I wonder if that's where you know him from. Yeah, quite possibly. Quite possibly. He may have been into one of my karaoke nights. So that's it. Let's have a look at it. The last bit she goes, we were talking about the terrible fire in Grenfell Tower a couple of weeks ago now it was, wasn't it? And I told you the story of some bloke's been prosecuted for pretending to be in the tower while the fire was happening, or pretending family were in there and trying to claim stuff. And he wasn't anywhere near it. Wendy says, I totally agree with you about the piece of trash that tried to claim for being a victim of Grenfell when he wasn't. I don't understand their mentality at all. You know, Chris, in all the time I was out of work after losing John, her husband, which is a couple of years ago now, which was actually getting on for now over 2 years. Can you believe that? 2 years, Wendy. 2 years, where's that gone? I never claimed a penny from the government. Yeah, same as me, Wendy, same as me. Apart from bereavement allowance, which everyone gets when they lose their partner anyway. That lasts a year. Other than that, I didn't claim a single penny. I do not know how these people who claim and are not entitled to claim live with themselves, regardless of what it's for. Makes me sad and angry. So thank you very much for that, Wendy. Yeah, I don't get it either. And we all know them, don't we? We absolutely all know people that claim for stuff, and maybe they are allowed it, but morally, do they need it? Rather than going out to get into work, I can just get that. I'll say something's wrong with my finger this week, and they go out and sign another form and another cheque for £100 arrives or whatever. I mean, I don't know how it works. I've never claimed anything, but it is disgusting. It really is disgusting how people claim for nothing, and I think that much of them. I really do. And if you challenge them, they defend themselves. They absolutely defend themselves every time. The crap that they come out with. But I see through it, you see. Sometimes I'll say something, sometimes I won't. And that's how it is. Anyway, let's do today's birthdays, boys and girls. Today, it is the lovely Anne Taplin's birthday. Happy birthday, Anne. What colour is your hair this week, my love? Is it green, blue, pink, red? Who knows? I think I would like it to be purple for our little event in a couple of weeks, please, Anne. Thank you very much. Happy birthday to the lovely Anne Taplin. And you share your birthday, only two today, with Alan Bailey, who comes into Central Station regularly. He's a lovely chap. Now and again he sings usually items from the Rocky Horror Show, I think he does. And he's quite popular in there. So happy birthday to you, Alan. I haven't seen you for a week or so, but I hope you're doing all right. Let me sing you a song. That's better. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Anne and Alan. Happy birthday to you. All right, that's it for the show today on this Saturday. Have a lovely evening, boys and girls, wherever you're going, and a happy Pride Day. Tonight, I'll be hosting Central Station this evening, playing you a little bit of music and doing a little bit of a chat from 9:30. That's on this Saturday. That's today. And we've got wonderful cabaret tonight. We've got Miss Jason, who's one of the top cabaret artists in the country. Okay, so that's tonight at Central Station. Join me from 9:30 p.m. The show is on bang on 10:30 p.m. Okay, and I'm there till about midnight. Maybe I'll see some of you down there at Central Station, Wharfdale Road, King's Cross. Enjoy your Saturday. Thanks for watching and listening. Cheerio now.